Good afternoon, everybody. It's Carpo here to bring you a message of hope. And that message is that everything is a hoax. Everything that's ever happened or ever will happen is a hoax to somebody. I'm trying really hard to do this without sounding, I don't know, like I'm picking at truthers or those who claim to be truthers bringing us the truth. I'm getting really sick and tired of hearing everybody say everything's a hoax. Now, the official story on many of the things that happen is definitely skewed. It always is. It always has been. And that's nothing new. So when you find holes in a story, it can lead one to be suspicious that something happened. Let me give you the example I'm talking about. Obviously, the Sandy Hook was a big one. I'm not going to get into the Sandy Hook shooting because the people who think that it was a hoax feel very strongly about it. But there are different levels, you see. There are people who believe that it was a cover-up. There are some people who believe that the shooting, the guy who did the shooting was programmed somehow, mind-controlled. All of these different theories are possibilities. The theory that I'm saying is bullshit is that it never happened. And there's a huge group of people out here who are basically saying that nothing happens. Every single bomb that goes off, every single plane that goes down, and this is why it came to mind today, was the Malaysian flight. I had this guy that commented on one of my videos, and we were talking back and forth, and I could tell he was, he said something to the effect of how, he got defensive about his, saying, I put videos out, and you should come look at my videos because I'm telling you the truth, and something to that effect. And so I went to look. I wanted to see his channel before I'm going to have a conversation with somebody, see what they're all about. And every single one of his videos was something kind of harsh. He was very harsh in his comments, very verbally abusive. And I know that people who are out there seeking truth, seeking the true story behind things, have to learn tact, have to learn how to have a conversation, because if you have no tact, you have no ethos, you have no credibility in the sense that people aren't going to listen to you. It's just like the raving lunatic who screams or the guy who types in all caps. And when I went to see what the guy said I should check out his channel, so I did, and I went there and I looked, and it had I just clicked on a random video, and it was about the plane that went down the other day in the Ukraine, or wherever it was over there. I don't really get too deep into the stories. A plane went down. Perhaps it was Russian, militants, or whatever you want to call them, guerrillas. The story is still being pieced together. I'm not too privy on all the details. But this guy was basically saying, what he said in the video was that he was coming home in the car and he was listening to the news on the radio, and they said that the plane had gone down and that it was a Malaysian plane. And in his words was, instantly I knew it was a hoax. And I just thought to myself, this is the kind of conclusive learning that we're fooling ourselves with. To assume that all these other things I believe were faked, therefore everything is faked. And my thought on the airliner going down over there is that, supposedly they thought it was a military plane. Whoops, got a civilian plane. My thought is maybe it was even something like the Russian government, another government doing it, making it to try to appear to be Russia, or to try to start a war or some kind of conflict. There may have been something behind it, which had, some very deep implications in the world. In other words, not just being some random band of rebels, but being planned out, because many of the events that happen are planned in accordance. 9/11 is a good example. I don't know. I've done endless studies on 9/11, and I still don't know if the towers were brought down purposefully, if they were just allowed to be destroyed so we could go to war, or if it was just, you know, I personally don't believe that bin Laden and his crew did this all on their own. I don't think that they were incapable of it. I just think that there was more to it, and after I researched it and found out Building 7 and how it went down, and I mean, I watched this thing from the day it happened, and there's a lot of suspicious activity going on there. And so, knowing that there's something else to the story, people instantly draw conclusions that are so out there. I've heard people say that the planes were holograms, and shown videos where you can see the plane dissolving or whatever before it hits the plane hits the building, and that it was a missile, that it was just an explosive charge, or that the explosion never happened. So many different crazy theories. I think the one that really has been getting to me lately, and this is why it's been on the top of my mind, is all these people saying everything is a fucking illusion. You know, not only is everything a hoax. Yeah, I found out that everything is a hoax. Not only that, but I guess I'm a hoax too. Everyone's a hoax. Oh, but by saying that, I'm instantly a shill. Yeah, I'm getting paid so much by the government to talk my opinions. Yeah, they just send me a paycheck every week. The whole list of words: sheeple, NWO, shill, Illuminati, disinformation, agent, asleep, wake up, hoax, matrix, illusion, Maya, cults, trolls, Satan, Nibiru, reptilians, Freemasons, false prophets, ascension, all these different terms that you see thrown around the internet. They start to lose, especially sheeple, and this whole awake thing, you know, it's just like, come on. None of us are really awake. Some of us are more aware of what's going on, but you know, we're all waking up together in our own way. But going around, and the reason why I'm making this video is, you know, because when I see people going around making these videos claiming that everything is fake, everything's an illusion. One guy earlier was telling me that, you know, I was seeing this video where this guy caught a glitch in the sky matrix. You know, the sky is an illusion. It's just a projection. Sure, the stars are projections, and the moon is a projection. It's a hologram, and sometimes when you're filming it, it has all kinds of problems, you know, like errors. Well, it must just be the moon itself. It couldn't possibly be the camera that we're using. And I've tried to explain this to people. With digital photography, things happen. I read an entire, you know, article about digital artifacts so I could understand what happens, because I've taken some weird close-ups with my cameras. If you take a good digital camcorder and hone in on any faraway light and it's out of focus, it tends to have kind of a UFO shape, and the lights tend to spin around almost as if it's you know, breaking the light up into a prismatic pattern. It looks like a UFO. And a lot of people also see the pixelation, digital artifacts, which cause people to say, oh, this person's a reptilian because their face is changing on camera. Look, all these people are reptilians. And this one guy that claimed that that I'm an idiot, I don't even know what I'm talking about, because he has 50 of them living on his floor of his apartment building, and that they all tell him all about how they're reptiles, but he's the only one, of course, you know. He's the only one privy to this information. I said, why don't you make a video with your buddies, you know, and show the world? No, 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 no. It's a secret thing. They only tell people like me who are just lunatics and go around ranting and cussing at people. In other words, the ethos, the character of a person determines a lot of whether or not their information is valid. I hate to say that because it's not always true. There are some really, you know, there's some real assholes out there who have true information to share. And there are also some really nice people out there with some really good intentions, but their information is completely bunk. And in between is all the rest of it. And so, you know, it's up to the individual. Obviously, I can look at a video about the holographic moon and say, oh shit, you know, that's obviously bullcrap, and move on. Why I make videos rebuttals against things like this is because I always think of the, you know, 16, 17-year-old who's, you know, finally starting to wake up to what's really going on in the world, the corruption, and they see they've been lied to, and they come to somebody's YouTube channel where all they talk about is how everything's a hoax and everything's a conspiracy. and they believe it. And then they're like, well, if this person thinks this is true, and they also believe the moon's a hologram, people fall for it, and they get sucked into these belief systems. So rather than, some people would accuse me of trying to cloud the truth or dispel the truth, the fact is, I'm trying to keep the truth out in the open, pliable, like it should be, able to really analyze something. If something is claimed to be true, you have to be able to produce evidence. And when a person's claiming that a plane went down and it was completely faked and none of it's real, my heart goes out to the survivors and the people and the body parts out in the field and all their relatives who have to, deal with that kind of stuff. And most of them probably don't hear the fanatics online because they just don't, But if you're a YouTuber and you're looking for YouTube videos, a family member of yours went down in a plane, and you Google it and the first thing he says is, oh, the whole thing's a hoax. That would really piss a person off. Look at these guys, they're saying that, my relatives never died. They go as far as to say that that all the people, all the witnesses, all the family members are all fake. And they claim to see some of the same people on different videos, so they assume that, that there are these people that are hired to play these roles, and that the whole thing's a setup. And maybe that's true, but I don't believe it. I'm sure there have been plenty of hoaxes and faked things, but the school shootings and planes going down are not likely to be faked events, in my opinion. Not that they couldn't be, but what's the purpose? You see, what's the purpose behind it? Everyone wants to call bullshit, but no one wants to explain why. So, anyway, namaste, and hope there's no butthurt feelings over that. I know there's people who spend their whole lives obsessed about all this stuff, and that's your choice. It's your choice. But please, people, stop just repeating the same shit you hear on YouTube videos on a different video, and